Welcome to the
Here we are.
penultimate episode of season one of the Nate and Curtis show.
Bananas.
It is crazy. This is episode number 25. Episode number
Wow.
25.
I
Can
can't
you
believe
believe
it.
it?
Can't believe it.
Yeah.
We still got shit to talk about.
I know. I know. After 20, well, since we've actually shot the 26th one already, after 26 episodes, it is kind of surprising that we've been able to get through this whole thing and that we do revisit some things. We have revisited some things, but we've always added something new to it. And so I feel
Good.
pretty good about that.
Good.
Yes. And that just means that we're clearly going to have plenty to talk about for a season two.
Amazing.
Yeah. Which is wild. Which is wild. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
boy. So, how was your week?
Um,
Anything?
it's been extraordinarily busy. Right now, at time of recording, it is the Portland Panorama Film Festival, and we are doing very little to participate with the film festival right now, which is a real
You,
shame because
you have more than one going too,
film
right?
festivals?
No. You have more than one film that you're pushing through there, no?
No, no, we ended up under five didn't end up getting picked up for the shorts program, and we have friends who have films that are either participating with at or being featured at the festival, but we don't have anything else going right now.
So are you gonna go watch your friends' films and
We
everything? Gonna
are,
go
but
hang out?
we keep missing events. This whole having a job thing is getting in the way of me having like doing my work.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like it's also kept me engaged with the other filmmakers that I know that are up here. And we're also trying to lay all the groundwork to get things shot later this year. And so I kind of forgot what it's like to be a producer again. Um,
Mhm.
and essentially, I'm kind of starting over in Portland. Like all the skill sets are still locked in here and come
Mhm.
out. But uh, the culture of it and just the fact that I'm just in LA I had a certain amount of juice. Even though I wasn't famous, I had worked with enough people that behind the scenes I was able to get certain things done. Up
Mhm.
here, it's extraordinarily insular, and I'm only now, after being here for almost a decade, finally getting the relationships that are required to actually make things happen. Uh, and so it's been a lot. It's been a lot to try and juggle and make things work.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah.
I, I I've worked on a lot of shorts, and I think this one with you was the first one that entered a festival.
Oh, we did try. We did try. None of them picked us up, but we did try pretty good. We
Mhm.
did try pretty good. But I was also pretty strategic and surgical about which ones we at least tried to go for.
Sure.
If I had more resources, if we had a little bit more money, frankly, it's just money. It came down to money.
It always comes
I could
down to
pick
money.
four. I had enough money for four, is what it came
Hmm.
down to. Um, if we had had a little more money, there are a couple that are I almost could have guaranteed we could have gotten into. And there were a couple that I would have liked to have tried to get into in LA. But and New York actually. There's a shorts festival specifically in New York that I think would have been fun to try and get into. But uh but that just not this one. Not this one. Just got to do another one.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
part of the process, right? I mean, how many are there? There's
There are always new festivals popping up, and
right.
most of them are actually pretty good. Like
What do you
there's
think?
a certain
50? Do you think there's 50 of them? Or do you think there's more than
oh,
that?
there's way more than that.
Like hundreds?
Hundreds,
Wow.
hundreds. And I- were you doing much indie filmmaking back when Without a Box was the primary festival uh, festival submission platform?
No,
Okay, that
no, but
used
I
to
mean,
be.
the most of the indie film stuff I did was, 90s, early 2000s, where, um,
Well,
you know,
that is when Without a Box was doing its thing. That's when it
some
really
of
came
them
up.
didn't found themselves in the position where they didn't have the budget to continue.
That's well, I understand that.
And I wasn't willing to put any money in myself at that time where I possibly could have.
Right.
It's a regret for sure.
Mm.
Um, they
Do
weren't,
you do you
none of
think
them were very
there's
phenomenal, and most of them were shorts.
mm, mm, mm.
But yeah, some of them didn't see the light of day because they just didn't, they were unable to finish.
That is
Um,
don't let it be said that getting a film done isn't a huge W when it comes down to it, because so many things just never get finished,
so yeah, don't
never
even
ever
get
get done.
near the finish line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. One of the best, it's not a little victory either. Like normally I like to joke and say it's the little victories when you get any kind of anything, but actually getting a film from start to finish at all. I don't
A
care if you think it's
huge
bad.
victory.
It's a
Huge
huge
victory.
victory to just get the damn thing done. Just get the damn thing done. You
Ah,
know who's a real lesson in this?
who?
Neil Breen. Are you familiar with Neil
No,
Breen and his films?
no, I'll look them up though for sure.
Okay, there will be a link down in the show notes, and there are already people who are watching this going, Neil Breen! So Neil Breen is a gentleman who is older than we are, and he does independent productions essentially out of his home in Las Vegas. And he
Okay.
has a series of feature films, and he does pretty much everything on his own.
His own dime?
Oh yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah.
That's
Um,
guts. That's guts. I
but
did that one time and
he's turned
I
well.
don't know if I'll ever forgive myself.
That's season two, buddy. That's season
All
two
right.
conversation.
I won't talk about it. We'll
But
wait.
Neil Breen has turned it into a business for himself.
Hmm.
You go buy Neil Breen films, and there is a cult fandom that supports and props up his ambitions. And and
What is it what does he use? Like a Kickstarter or
no,
Patreon?
no,
Just knows people that like to give money out.
he has a website. It's not
Okay.
even a very good website, and it doesn't even make it easy to buy stuff. And yet, people are so dedicated to the Neil Breen films, they make the effort and they pick them up. And
Wow.
when a new Neil Breen trailer hits YouTube, it becomes a cultural event.
God, I really need to know this guy. I really need
Okay.
to
Okay.
start watching his films.
Uh, we are going I am going to go show Nate a trailer for the Neil Breen film, and I am putting that trailer in the show notes. So what I want you to do is when you get the break, you're going to count down three, two, one, and then you're going to hit the trailer, and then you watch the trailer, and then you come back. You don't have to count down. I just realized I thought I was going to do like a sync up thing. I'm not going to do a sync up thing because a lot of you guys listen to this as an audio. You're not going to do the video.
Oh,
So
right, right, right.
I'm gonna share my screen with Nate. You're gonna get a break, and then we're gonna come back, and you're gonna get Nate's reaction to Neil Breen. Okay, so here we go.
Okay.
They're
All right.
all like that.
So it's got a little bit of a The Room vibe to it.
100%. Yes. Yes.
Um, but that's sort of a cult classic thing that people really engage with.
He makes cheeky action and sci-fi movies. That's his game.
Okay.
That's his deal. He shoots at his house. He uses a lot of stock footage. He's got a lot of green screen replacement. Um, Adobe After Effects is in full effect. Like, and I can dig it. I can dig it. This is homebrew, 100%. Like that is DIY filmmaking at the most essential kernel core of it all. And he turned it into a viable business just because people are really like enamored by the homemade craftiness of it all.
Got a bit of a porn vibe, but without the sex. Um, without the graphic sex.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Very interesting. It reminds me of a lot of the 80s low budget action
Yes,
films. Yeah.
yes. And I'm sure that's a lot of the things that he wanted to write because, like us, I'm sure that's what he was watching as he was in his like late teens, early 20s.
And I like how he's an assassin, but he also casually flies jet planes.
Yes,
That's a
including jet fighters.
Yeah.
Yes. And here's one thing. As much as people might make fun of the production values, one thing that all of his movies share is the fact that he truly makes all of these films to try and spread the notion that people should come together and
Mhm.
they should be helping each other instead of hurting each other. All of his stories, all of them, whether they're the sci-fi ones where he's an alien, whether he's a secret agent, because he is a secret agent an awful lot. That's just the newest film.
Okay.
That's the newest one. And it is worth going back and watching the other trailers in this milieu.
Okay.
Um, but it's always, always, we should take down the corrupt. Everybody should be treated justly, and you should love one another. And I don't care how bad your movie is. At least that's a good message to be spreading, especially right now.
Well, and the most important thing is that he finishes them.
He does. He gets them done. He gets them done. He gets them out. And
It's
it pays
impressive.
off. Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah. So, yeah. And he doesn't have to worry about distribution. He is his own distribution.
Well, he just prints them up and then mails them out.
Pretty much. Yeah.
These like DVDs.
Yeah. And for a
Wow.
while, you could get VHSs. But now you can, like, watch them on YouTube. You can rent them on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah. We could all aspire to be a little bit more Neil Breen like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially in this age of AI filmmaking and AI stuff. At time of recording, today is April 15th, tax day, 2026.
I got an extension.
Yeah.
My
Um,
accountant typically files the extension as soon as that's available. I think in January or something. She just goes ahead and does it.
yeah.
I'm a little behind. Just a couple years. Just a couple years behind.
Um, but uh, my friend Jeff, you also know Jeff, author Jeff
Mhm.
Garvin,
Mhm.
he sent me a video. It wasn't too many episodes ago when we specifically spoke about the workflow and
Mhm.
how prompts can create scenes of
Mhm.
movies and stuff. And that at the time of recording, and this was about a year ago, little over a year ago,
Okay.
it wasn't able to match up necessarily. You couldn't guarantee a matchup between different sequences. And right now, going around the internet is it's called Pi Hard, Pi Hard, and it's an AI short about uh, uh, Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he's trying to stop the end of the world. And it has created characters in
Is
the
he in it?
image. An AI version of him is,
Okay.
and an AI version of Bill Gates, and an AI version of Elon Musk, and an
Uh,
AI version of Stephen Hawking's.
It's all very
And it's
s-
a
sketchy in my brain on how all of this is working and becoming a thing.
It does a very good job of mimicking their voices, and it actually looks like them. Now, bear in mind, there's still some resolution issues. Like it looks fine on a phone, it looks fine on YouTube. It I don't think the resolution is there for it to be actually like
It
put on.
it blows out on a
Yeah,
screen. Yeah. Yeah.
but
Pixelates and
the actual like progression of it, it plays. It's not narrative. I mean, it is narrative, but like it's missing the nuance of a real performance.
yeah.
But as far as AI slop goes, it's the highest quality of AI slop. It's something where you watch it and you're like, this doesn't hurt to watch. I mean, it kind of does just because it's not great. But at the
Right,
same
right,
time, it's
right.
like, oh, that may have just emptied a river of water, but it's shockingly good.
It reminds me of like Michael Madsen used to do a lot of these sort of detective or he was a rogue cop or something like that in these 80s sort of B movies.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it sort of has that vibe.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
but Michael Madsen's a good actor, but the people around him, not so much. Um,
you pay for the one big name, and
yeah,
then you pay for the rest with chalupas and Baja Blast.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the occasional pizza lunch.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I do have some like-minded friends who want to just play and make and create and unfortunately there just aren't quite enough of them to really get the job done. Once I start having to set up equipment and lighting and making sure all the shots are right and then jump in and perform, you're already wearing six or eight
17
hats.
hats.
Yeah, yeah. So by the time you get to your own performance, it suffers for sure.
Yeah.
Um, but still so damn fun to do. And a lot of my own shorts like that didn't get completed for various reasons that we don't really need to go into.
Right. Well, I
But
worry that,
some of those reasons are it just needs too much money to get it across the goal line. But
yeah.
it's been usable, and I have been using some of these just pieces of scenes just to have some current reel.
Hmm.
Like this is what I look like. This is what I look like when I'm acting. This is this character. This is that character, and it's sort of uh, helps me at least get in the audition rooms. Or I shouldn't say do I should say gets me some self tapes, you know. Um, Curtis helped me on one of my own today for a soap opera, which is completely out of my uh, mental jurisdiction. I'm a comedic actor. I've always have been.
He was extremely dramatic.
Even when I was doing commercials as a kid, they were typically had comedy in them. I think I was 7 when I did a Uno commercial for the game, and I played a cave boy. It was the the
How many
tagline.
times have you gotten dressed up as a caveman in
The
some way, shape, or form?
right. I've had fake rotten teeth made for me at least 3 times in my career.
Nice.
Um, But what was I going to say about that?
I'm sorry, that's my bad. I interrupted you.
No,
It was
no,
the
it's
Uno
fine.
commercial. You were a caveman,
Uh, but
and
oh,
even
the tagline the tagline was the first word in family fun. So it was cavemen playing Uno together. That was the gag. So I got to jump around like a caveman, sniffing cards, sort of like a, a gorilla sort of vibe to the yeah.
full
Um,
primate ape Nate.
So since I'm 6 years old, it has been 90% comedic acting. So when I get thrown a curveball like a lawyer or something in a soap opera. It's still fun to do. I still feel like I do a decent job, but I'm definitely not that look or that guy. You know what I mean?
Okay, okay.
You don't think so?
No, I
Curtis
disagree with you
Curtis
completely.
read Curtis reads with for me for most of my auditions. We do it over Zoom. I put him next to the thing so it picks up his audio, and then we do the audition like that. And so you disagree with me?
I do
You don't think
extremely.
you think I can pull off a serious lawyer or doctor or
Yes,
something?
it's in your stupid reel. People can see this publicly.
Which was actually part of a comedy, but it's that clip is taken out of context.
Yeah.
In context, myself and the receptionist through the door are we got a bet placed on how uncomfortable we can make this guy. Um,
Regardless, the way
yeah,
it plays out, like, because that's the trick of good comedy anyway. Good comedy is always going to be played earnestly,
yeah.
and good
My
drama.
a very good example of that would be like Leslie Nielsen in the Naked Gun movies.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
playing it completely straight, and the script
And
is what
everything else is
makes
ridiculous
it fun.
around him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's the kind of stuff I grew up watching and kind of grew to love. And I learned by I've taken very few classes. I did some private coaching just as far as readings go for auditions, but the directors that I had throughout Sabrina, they never said like, "Hey, can you change the way you say this?" or blah blah blah. It was always, "You're doing great. Keep that. All right, let's do another one. Gonna move the camera over here."
Well, especially on Sabrina, you were the straight. You know what I mean?
I was a
Like,
straight man, yeah,
yeah.
for most of
So,
it. I did
so
get to do some ridiculous things for sure,
absolutely.
but
But
I
part
was
of what made
definitely
that really
the straight
funny
man. Yeah.
was the fact that you were always the straight.
Hmm.
And
Well, yeah,
really,
that's the funny is playing it serious and
yeah.
the ridiculousness in the dialogue and the things happening around you are what makes it funny. So you have to there's a balance and sort of a tightrope walk to that, and
Yeah.
that is my favorite thing to do on the planet. When it gets to something very dramatically heavy, I was sort of raised or fell into rather sort of a method style of acting.
Mm,
So
mm.
when I have to do something that's really sad or really stressful or really, that's what the character is going through, I end up feeling all that crap, like that's where it
Yeah.
really becomes work because at the end of the day, you got to shake off this horrible experience that your character was going through, and you go to bed at night feeling depressed because your character was depressed.
It can be really emotionally draining.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
I envy those actors who can just sort of say it in a way that looks like they're sad or you know uh
Well, I'm getting the feeling that you ended up doing a lot of Meisner work then. Was
mm.
that one of the things you were studying?
Well, I hadn't read Meisner until I was probably in my late teens.
Mm.
Um, as I'm reading it, I'm going, oh yeah, I mean that's what I do.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously not the whole book and not all of his intelligence and information, but I was naturally doing that from a very young age. That was the way I performed.
I think that
Um,
comes from our Midwestern upbringing too. Just the idea of emotional memory and drawing on previous experiences and stuff like that.
Right. And why I shifted towards comedy was, it was a reflex or like a survival technique.
Mm.
I grew up in the suburbs, but it was a hard sort of suburb to grow up in, and family turmoil, things like that. And so my go-to was to crack jokes or to try to lighten the mood
Mm. Mm.
when something awful was happening, and I that throughout my life, when I get in a sticky situation, I'm typically able to I won't get into too much detail,
Right.
but just getting robbed on the street one time and being able to crack some jokes that had the guy sort of change his whole demeanor with me in the process of taking my money. You
So,
know?
so what I'm hearing is through the emotional trauma that you experienced as a kid, you managed to face other extreme traumas with a sense of
And
humor
and
to
with a
kind of
sense of
diffuse the
humor to
situation.
diffuse the situation.
Yeah.
And that's just my natural go-to in any potentially negative situation.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
which is,
And
it can be extremely helpful.
that
Go
sounds
ahead.
really heavy, everybody. So don't worry.
It it can be,
Yeah.
that's life. We do what we can to get by. And my go-to has always been lighten the mood, cheer this guy up. You gotta he's not robbing you because he just loves it so much. He's
Right.
robbing you because he needs the money.
Yeah.
So if you can sort of make a connection with someone through humor, I'm not insulting this person. I'm trying to crack jokes on their behalf, or on sort of from their perspective, cracking jokes. And people who let's say in a bar, when they just look at you and they just want to, you got that face, they just want to punch, and so
I'm
they're
not used to that.
drunk and they're just being snide with you and da 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 da. I can typically 9 times out of 10 turn that around to where they're laughing and occasionally buying me a drink.
Ha! Nice.
Uh,
Nice.
because bar situations can be tough.
Yeah.
When you've got a lot of people drinking and a lot of people with a chip on their shoulder. And so I can typically kind of talk them into just lightening up and having a good time. And that's
I feel like the
the
people are
skill
getting
that I have.
a really good idea about the types of places where Nate Richard finds himself sometimes.
I was never into club music, things like that. So I never went to the clubs or the discos or whatever you want to call them these days. I prefer dive bars, as a songwriter and a musician. Some of these down and out people that you meet in a dive bar are some of the most incredibly intelligent people, some of the most artistic people. You know,
Hmm.
you meet poets in dive bars, you meet musicians in dive bars, you meet, and they're not career choices for most people. So once you get to know somebody who's having a bad day, I'm typically able to turn them out of that through conversation. And that is 100% a survival instinct that I grew up with.
Well, there you go.
I've got a friend, I'm not going to say his name because he really gets offended when I tell this story. Uh, but he was what you might call a crotchety dude,
Okay.
and I had to work with him on occasion. So I said the second I met him and he was probably gruff and crowd, da, 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 my first thought was, I'm going to break this guy. This guy is going to be my best fucking friend. And that was 30 years ago. And he is one of my very best friends
Nate,
to
I'm
this
right
day.
here.
You're not a dive bar sort of guy, are you?
Oh, yeah. And Renee and I
Hmm.
really like the dive bar scene up here in Portland.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't smell like, that bar like disinfectant,
Oh yeah.
that
Yeah.
smell.
What? Barkeeper's friend, or what
Yeah.
are you talking about?
Well,
Yeah.
not barkeep a friend because that's
Whatever it is.
yeah, whatever that
Probably
disinfectant is.
ammonia on vomit
Right,
is
exactly.
probably the smell you're going for.
That smell will chase us out, but like dive bars in general, we're actually pretty good with.
Hmm.
We have several that we frequent here around town.
And I used to just go into a bar. And that's the thing too. Like back in the day, 21, 22, 23
Oh,
years old,
yeah.
people would recognize me, but not at a dive bar. Not when you're hanging out with a 60-year-old dude who just got off of work, breaking his back doing construction or whatever, and this was his way of unwinding. And seeing youthful people with with a stronger back probably peeved them pretty much, and didn't think I was going to have anything to say worth listening to. And here I am bellying up next to them at the bar, and I could usually get them to open up and strike up a conversation. But like, by maybe 20, 30 minutes, we're shooting the shit and having a good time and cracking each other up, making jokes. I've always had a way of just kind of opening people like that up. And it comes from childhood trauma, like just how to avoid or change the thing that's about to happen.
Well, I get that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Now we need the Nate Richard book of dive bars.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
don't go anymore. I haven't
Well,
been.
no, but
I, I
you could write something from what you
I
remember.
stopped hanging out at bars and drinking roughly 2 years ago now. So it's like it's a weird feeling that I don't get to have those experiences anymore.
Mm.
Um,
Well, I mean, at this point, you'd be the old guy at the bar. You know what I mean? I used to joke with,
not at the dive bars I go to. People are typically at least 10 years older than me. I'm only 47. I'll be 48 at the end of the month. Probably by the time this thing airs.
oh, definitely by the time this thing airs.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
then I'll just say I'm 48. Most of my friends came out of situations like that
Mm,
where, you know, crotchety person, I might have to work with them occasionally. So I break that ice. And
mm.
some takes a little longer with some people than others, but you know, I, I
Well,
we develop a rapport because I put in the effort. And
mm,
um so I don't get to do that anymore. I don't run into as many people as I would just going to the bar.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just that but it translates to any situation, any work situation, you know. And it started because, it used to take me a few drinks just to open up myself because I was a very, very shy kid, very shy
Mm.
guy. I think I'm getting older now, so the filter is just uh, going away or gone.
There's a certain amount of degaff that comes with every year you get older.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm not that shy guy I was 20 years ago.
Mm, mm.
Um,
I
which
don't
has also
remember
helped
you
with
being shy though, but maybe that's just
it's
different.
yeah, I put it on. I'm like level 1 autism. So I learned
The masking.
to it's a mask, it's a
Yeah.
character that I leave the apartment with, and it takes a lot of energy.
Mm,
However, a couple beers, few whiskeys, that I can maintain the character of happy guy, or sociable guy.
mm, mm,
So it's taken me a lot of years, I'd say 20 years of therapy and medications, trying out medications to subdue that terrified part of me. Um, Auditions were very, very hard
Auditions are
20
hard
20
anyway.
years
I
ago.
can only
Well, they're
imagine
hard
how much
anyway.
worse they'd be when you're suffering from the anxiety and stress that goes along with it too.
Yeah, actual anxiety and
Yeah,
stress. But I had, panic disorder. Still probably have it, but you
but
know,
you got the pills.
yeah, well, the pills and just a lot of learning coping mechanisms,
Mm,
which have changed things, God, so dramatically.
mm,
So now I look forward to auditions. I look forward to meeting with people. But I guess the point that getting back to the original point is that the masking, it takes a lot of energy to keep that up. Bunch of drinks in me, I never want it to stop. But no matter what happens, I go home and the mask has to come off, and I need a lot of resting time
mm,
just to be able to do it again.
mm,
Um, so that part's still with me. Like I get very, very exhausted in social situations, more so than a lot of people.
I
Um,
feel like we've talked about how you're more of a homebody the last few years anyway, especially after COVID.
Oh, all my
Yeah,
life. I had, generalized anxiety disorder. I would have panic attacks at the grocery store in line with my cart, and some of that was sparked by real things like the being attacked by by a fan or two.
right.
Things like that can actually, but that's a real thing setting it off. Uh, but I've been in other situations. I could be taking a shower and all of a sudden, bam, just this explosion of panic just goes off, just the chemical imbalance in the brain.
Mm,
That is
mm,
very much genetic. So
mm.
um, it's made the audition process very difficult throughout my life, and a big reason why after Sabrina things fizzled.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
I didn't at that time have the coping mechanisms.
Well,
Um,
who did? I mean, I remember when I was in my like 16 to 19,
mhm,
I was starting to audition for like regular roles as regulars on shows.
yeah.
And I would get so in my head about those
Mhm,
auditions. And there are still a handful of auditions that I remember
yeah.
vividly because I was so disturbed about like the pressure of them that I put on myself.
Oh yeah.
Nobody else was putting this pressure on
No,
me. It
no.
was 100% self-inflicted. And the some of the biggest career regrets that I have are all from mistakes that these were unassisted errors, could have been
Mhm.
totally avoided, but I didn't understand how to cope with them, and I didn't understand the process well enough
Right.
to do them correctly. Like just auditioning process, I just
Yeah.
wasn't as good.
Simple things like that casting director wants you to get the
Uh-huh.
job. And I
Uh-huh.
would go in and it felt exactly like an interrogation. Now, part of that's because of the lighting, you're in there, you're the only one with a light on you, and everybody else is sort of in the shadows, especially if it's a callback or a producer session where you've
Hmm.
got a room full of people very dimly lit and you've got this big hot light on you. The lights are LED now, they're not so bad, but back then,
Yeah.
very, very hot lights. And you go into this room,
Or the
your
worst
eyes
thing is
haven't
when you can
adjusted.
see them like
Yeah.
clearly and they're just like dance,
Hmm.
dance monkey. And it's like, oh no, I'm not ready
Hmm.
for it. Yeah.
But same thing. They want you to get the job as well.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that was the thing that I luckily, and I know I've talked about this before, but I luckily there were a few casting directors who really took the time with me, said, "Hey, can you hang back and wait till everybody else is done?" And they, one of them in particular sat me down and just said, "Look, I want you to get this job. Every time you come in here, I am rooting for you." Um, and that at that point, I was still too young and still had the general panic attacks, but it helped to hear that from someone important, um,
Yeah.
who had the keys to whether I had work or not.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. No, it feels so simple to say now, and yet it was so foreign an idea.
yeah.
It needed to come from somebody in authority that
Hmm.
wasn't directly attached to you. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. It's G.
Yeah.
Charles Wright also really does a good job of that with
I wish I
actors.
had met G. Charles much, much earlier,
Yeah. Yeah.
because he has an entire class that's just about auditioning,
It
correct?
is, and it's a really great class. We'll put the link in the show notes down below.
because
Um,
because auditioning and actually having the job are two completely different
Totally. It's a
animals.
different skill set entirely.
And when I had the job and I was on set and I was working, I was so involved entirely in my character and my character's relation to whoever I was with in the scene that everything else just melted away.
Hmm.
And the only way I can kind of compare it is I went skydiving. Now I'm somebody with generalized panic disorder. So like I said, I could have a panic attack in the shower. I could have a panic attack in line at the grocery store. But I was standing out on the edge of the plane at 33,000 feet or whatever the hell it was. And it was the most serene I ever have been in my life. Everything melted away when he was counting three, two, one. Um, and I don't know if that's more of a chemical mental thing where your brain says, well, this is something to actually panic about. Uh, and so since you have it willy-nilly all the time, your brain goes, this is something to panic about, and you're handling it very well. And let's enjoy this experience. And that carries over into actually doing the work. Once the cameras are rolling or we're in rehearsals or anything, even the table read,
Mm.
uh, I just it's the calmest and most serene I'll ever be in my life. And it
Well,
took me
it's
a took me a long time to learn that and to have enough of those experiences where my brain made that connection and went, once you have the job, you are going, it's like a vacation for all these incorrect chemical responses in your brain. Um,
well, it's
and
no
so,
versus not no, right?
and
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
and so
Once,
just doing shorts with some of my friends, like there's a Kevin Yee, my friend I met at doing something through Second City. He had everything under control. Everything flowed really smoothly during his shoot. And the second I sat down in wardrobe in the chair and we were ready to rehearse and film, I had that feeling back again. I had that feeling of, oh, just so calm, so serene, so involved in my character and his behavior and the way he's going to interact with my scene partner that I just went, God, I miss this. I miss this so much.
yeah.
And yeah, it was not long after that started shopping for agents. I just, for my own mental health, I need to get my ass back on your television screens.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Yeah.
No shit.
It's just work is a vacation, and just general life is the work part.
Well, it
Um,
is the greatest job anybody can have if it's the job
mm,
that you want.
mm,
Because it's just good. It's just good. I know a lot of celebrities and a lot of people when you get interviewed, they try to come up with why is this job great?
mhm.
And I think a core reason as to why there's not a satisfactory answer to that is that it takes a very specific type of person to even really want to do it. And
Mm.
there is a misconception that all actors are just narcissists or attention hogs or something like that. But what I've found in all of my experiences is that while those people do exist and they are drawn to the career,
And
what
they're the
I've
loudest.
they are the loudest in
So
that, yeah,
that typically helps them get the work,
yeah.
more than us shy guys.
But when you take a look at the broader width and breadth of actors, it's people who are really just looking to discover aspects of the human experience. And I know that
Yes.
sounds esoteric and weird and
Oh, no,
super, super,
I'm with you.
yeah. But like that has always been when I've worked with folks, and you're included in this, when I've worked with folks that I've enjoyed working with, that I've respected, and that uh, I like watching people who are good at what they do. And when you see people who are good at what they do, it's because they're doing more, there's something more behind the work than just the work. And
Mhm. And
and that discovery.
those vibes kick when
Uh-huh.
you work with one of those people,
Mm-hmm.
and it's suddenly like there's this warm blanket of
Mm-hmm.
that you get to share and that
Mm-hmm.
you get to experience. And yeah.
Yeah, I
Sorry, I
think
didn't
what
mean to cut you off
no, no,
there.
no, that's not it. I was having a problem expressing it in the first place. I think one of the few shows that's on television right now that is exemplifying this, that everybody is kind of feeling, is The Pit on HBO.
Love it. I
Yeah,
love that show.
yeah, and a lot of articles are talking about how people are appreciating competency and blah 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 blah. But
Mhm.
this is not to deride the show at all, and or the writing, because the writing is very very good.
Mhm.
But it's not the competency that's portrayed. It's the fact that you're feeling the competency from the cast at a
Mhm.
core level, in my personal
Mhm.
opinion. Don't at me.
No, no, no.
That
I'm with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that their ability to perform at such a high level together
Mhm.
is what makes it feel like they are truly competent in that fictional space as well. So
Yes.
it's not just, you can call somebody a good actor, but when it transcends that and it actually comes through the screen in a very real way, like Grey's Anatomy, solid show, 24 years on the air. 24 years on the air. That's insane.
Mhm.
Television shows don't, like, six television shows have done that ever in the history of television. But it doesn't vibe the way The Pit has vibed in 2 seasons.
Mhm.
Doesn't make it a bad show. Doesn't mean the people on it aren't good, because they are. Alimi Ballard's going to be on the show this season, for you Sabrina
On
fans.
which? On which?
On Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one I haven't watched enough. I watched maybe the first two, 3 seasons and sort of fell off for whatever reason.
I mean, it's Grey's
Maybe that's
Anatomy.
the reason. I
Yeah,
don't
I was gonna say
know.
it's really not written for you, but it's a good show. It's a good show. It's a quality show. There's a reason it's
Mhm.
on for 24 years. But but just the competency of these actors, and they're not famous. They've been kicking their bones around on stages and guest star parts and stuff like that. And as a lifelong guest star guy, it's always good to see folks doing that. Makes me feel good about where I'm at.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then back to the mental perspective thing too, before I forget, it's I think it's part of it is being able to be someone else.
Mm,
I get to focus on, well, this character I'm playing, he doesn't have social anxiety. He doesn't have a disorder. He has this. These are the things he wants. This is his background. This is the guy you are portraying. And I focus so much on that everything else of that my problems melt away.
right, right.
You
Just get to
know,
put those aside for a minute. Just gonna deal
my
with this right here.
past, my past is not my own past anymore. My past is this guy's past, and I get to be this now. And I think that's a huge, a huge thing that is just so therapeutic for me. Okay, where were we? Mental health?
Actually, um, wanted to take a couple minutes to kind of just review, since our final episode is a very special episode with a very special guest. I wanted to kind of take a minute to just kind of look back on these last 25 episodes and get your thoughts on what this first season has been like. How are you feeling about it? Like, we've been doing this for over a year now, and people are just starting. You and I, by the time this airs, it will have been almost 2 years since we first got the idea and started actually doing it. Since Renee was like, "You guys should be recording this," it's been almost 2 years by the time this is actually out. So, like,
That's incredible.
how's it feel? What are you thinking? What's going through your head about all this?
Having never been a podcast guy, I didn't know how these were supposed to go, and I wanted it that way. Uh, I wanted it just to be you and I doing what we do, shooting the shit, and then people who want to listen can be a fly on the wall. But it kind of started to slowly evolved into it evolved into something where not only are we discussing our past and present and future and in the way things are the way we always talk, being able to sort of pause and go, oh yeah, there might be people watching or listening. We might have to explain a few of these things. And so that's been a sort of a progression of an experience of learning to do that. And God, what else? It's just it's incredible how the time flies.
I know.
Um,
That's
we
that's boggling my mind too.
Yeah, I mean we would have been talking, but not this much, I imagine. We talked every couple of weeks, I think, before.
Right.
And it was just a phone call, seeing you every week, I feel a little more like we're in the same room, which is fun.
Yeah.
I miss your face.
Yeah.
Um, so and I'm really surprised at how many people enjoy listening to us gab.
That has been the most surprising thought because when when Nate and I first started, we had a real hard time getting over the idea of, does the world really need two more guys podcasting? Especially
Right.
two more white guys. Especially two more white guys who were more famous in the 90s. Do we really need to be those people? And
Well,
and
hopefully we're doing it differently. I
well,
mean,
and that's actually been
and I
expressed
don't
to me.
know because I still haven't listened. I've listened to a handful of podcasts now, but I still don't know what the going rate is. If people just do this fly on the wall conversation thing that we're doing. Um,
Not a lot. Not a lot. But I will tell you this. I have had fans who were both fans of the show, who have grown up with us, and who I have talked to both in person and online. And by the way, if you are seeing stuff, especially on Instagram or YouTube, it's usually me, but I'm gonna start tagging when I reply because Nate has been doing more of that too. It's hard to tell sometimes which one is actually responding. Um, but as I've talked to people, um, there has overwhelmingly there has not been a single person who hasn't said this. So either they're keeping it to themselves or they're lying to me. That they appreciate the authenticity of what we're doing, and they really like the fact that it feels like a genuine conversation and that we aren't just shilling something, that we aren't just
right,
selling
right,
something.
right.
And
On that note, buy a t-shirt.
right.
It'll help us keep doing this.
Yeah, I mean that's what the tag is for at the end of the show. But yeah, in the end, I hope that we're helping people learn things, and if nothing else, they get to hear us jabber at each other, which yeah.
I mean, if I try to put myself in their shoes, a lot of people have preconceived notions about what we went through, what our job was like, and the
Yeah.
money we made, and all
And
this
what
sort
the
of thing.
job currently is. Everybody
Yeah.
thinks that you're not an actor anymore, when that's not true.
Right.
That's not true.
I
And
stayed by the phone. It just stopped ringing.
yeah, and I get a lot of people who, whenever I show up in a picture with the cast, are like, "Who's that guy?" and there'll be a handful of people who will be like, "That's Gordy," and so it's yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
it's important to know
It's wild,
we
man.
never stopped working, we just stopped being famous.
And these things can turn around on a dime. You
Yeah.
never know.
And honestly, I don't know that I really want the fame. I've been chased through Disneyland enough when I was half-ass famous. That was
Yeah.
fine for me. I really just want to keep telling stories. That's all I want to do. I want to
Mm.
be able to make money telling stories and just let that be the thing. If you're gonna chase me through Disneyland, fine, I guess. But I better be making money telling stories if that's what we're doing too. You know what
You
I
just
mean?
want to make enough, for a security gate.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah,
Around the
yeah.
property. Yeah.
Oh, security gate. I heard you say security, and my brain just locked out the rest. And I was like, yes, being financially secure would be great, eh? That would be fantastic.
No.
Yeah,
Just a physical
physical
security
security
gate.
gate.
Just keep the weirdness out.
I don't mind. Not a lot of people come to Portland.
Mm. I'd rather not have people sifting through my trash again,
That's fair.
to
That's
find
fair.
whatever it is they're looking for, account numbers.
Right. Oh, ugh. Well, that's all online now. But
Just
that's a whole
imagine
other.
some crazed fan just putting together my shredded paper looking for account numbers.
Right.
Uh, like that woman in the Mercedes.
Oh my goodness. Nate, we have officially reached the end of episode 25 of season one.
Wow.
So,
Incredible.
before the tag kicks in and tells you to join the Patreon and everything, make sure to tune in next week, where we will be having our big season finale featuring a special guest. It's not Melissa. It's not Melissa. I just want you to remove that from your thoughts right now. But it is a cool special guest, and I hope you enjoy it.
We will.
Yeah, I mean, we had a good time recording it. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I think this is a vicarious group of people that are our listeners. So if we have fun, I think they'll have fun.
agreed.
And we are going to have fun.
All right,
Guaranteed.
y'all. We will see you. We'll see you soon, and then we'll see you in season 2. Have a great afternoon, evening,
Yes.
day, whatever. I don't know.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching and hanging out with us. Do the likings and the subscribings on the YouTube. Come check us out on Patreon if you'd like to support. That would be great. We've also got merch available. Take it away, Curtis.
We're going to take a look at the merch in the link in the show notes or the description down below. Also, want to give out a big warm shout out to our VIP patron, Lyle at the Halloween Podcast. Thank you very much for your support. And if you would like to follow Nate and I, you can do that on Instagram because it's the only social media we care about.